Retained earnings. So retained earnings is one of the components or one of the accounts under the shareholders' equity portion of the statement of financial position. The retained earnings is the cumulative balance of these transactions. Okay, so in other words, kapag merong mga ganitong transactions ang company, ang entry ay sa account na retained earnings. There are two kinds of retained earnings. So we have first, appropriated. So kapag sinabi nating appropriated, may pinaglaanan yung isang portion ng income or kita ng company. It can be either an expansion, plano nilang bumili ng mga properties, magpatayo ng building, mag-open ng another subsidiary or branch. So kapag sinabi nating appropriated, hindi siya pwedeng gamitin sa ibang purpose other than what was stated in the notes of financial statements. So kapag meron kayong appropriated retained earnings, nilalagay yan sa ating notes to financial statements. Second is unappropriated. Ito yung walang pinaglalaanan. Dito din kinukuha yung dividends. Ito yung basis kapag magko-compute ng dividends ang isang company. Retained earnings, since nasa shareholders equity portion siya, normally has a credit balance. However, when cases na naging debit yung retained earnings, it is called a deficit. And deficit is not an asset, but a deduction from shareholders equity. So kapag nagne-negative na yung retained earnings ng company, medyo delikado na yun. So kailangan ng mag-evaluate ng company regarding their going concern assumption. Isa sa mga binabawas sa retained earnings is the dividends or the distribution of earnings or capital to the shareholders in proportion to their shareholdings. So ang dividends can be out of earnings based sa kita ng company or galing sa kanilang capital. Are three important dates when it comes to dividend declaration. First, we have the date of declaration. Kung kailan sinabi nung directors ng company na mag-i-issue sila ng shares. Next, we have the date of record. Ibig sabihin nito, may specific date na kapag nakabili ka ng shares as of that date, kasama ka sa makaka-receive ng dividends. So for example, nag-declare ang company ng dividends as of December 31, 2024. Tapos sabi nila ang bibigyan lang yung my shares as of November 30. So the December 31 is the date of declaration and date of record is November 20. And the date of payment, syempre, kung kailan ni-release or binayaran yung dividends. The most common type of dividend. So, na kapag hindi sinabi kung anong klase, those are considered as cash dividends. So kapag sinabi lang dividend, automatic ng cash yun. This is the most common type. It can be a certain amount of pesos per share, like 2 pesos per share, or percentage of the par or stated value, like 1% of the par value. So yun ang cash dividend. At an example, the board of directors at their meeting on November 30, 2021, declared a dividend of 20 pesos per share, payable April 30, 2023, to shareholders of record on December 31, 2022. So in this case, ang date of declaration is November 30, 2021. Date of payment, April 30, 2023, and date of record is December 31, 2022. The entity had 20,000 shares issued and outstanding with par value of 100. Here are the journal entries. So, on November 30, the date of record, so the company needs to uh, establish a liability account. So we have to debit retained earnings and credit dividends payable. So saan galing yung 400,000 pesos? So that's the 20,000 shares issued and yung dividend, yung cash dividend declared, the 20 pesos. So 20,000 times 20. Noong December 31, 2021, wala man tayong journal entry. And noong April 30, 2023, ayan, i-debit na natin yung dividends payable and may credit tayo ng cash. Another type of dividend is the property dividends, also known as dividends in kind. Distribution of earnings to the shareholders in the form of non-cash assets. So, imbis na cash, properties na lang or non-cash assets ang binibigay sa mga shareholders. Okay? Example, an entity owned 50,000 unquoted shares of another entity accounted for under the cost method. The carrying amount of the investment is 1 million. On December 1, 2021, the entity declared these shares as property dividend to be distributed on January 1, 2022. So in this case, ang dividend na inisyu ng company ay investment nila, shares nila sa ibang entity. The investment had the following fair value less cost to distribute. are the journal entries. So, noong December 1, 2021, the date of record, we have to debit the retained earnings and credit dividends payable to 1.5 million. Ito yung fair value less cost to distribute as of that date. Noong December 31, 2021, yung fair value less cost to distribute, naging na siyang 1.8 million. So, kailangan nating i-adjust ang ating entries or i-adjust yung initial recognition. Kulang daw ng 300,000. So, magde-debit tayo ulit ng retained earnings and credit ng dividends payable equal to the adjustment. Ayan. February 31, 2022 naman, naging 1.9 million na yung fair value. So, mag-a-adjust tayo ulit. Debit ulit ng retained earnings and credit ng dividends payable. Of payment, syempre, di-debit na natin yung dividends payable na 1.9 million. Magki-credit tayo ng investment in equity shares na 1 million, which represents the carrying amount of the investment, and the difference of 900,000, yun po ang tinatawag na gain on distribution of property dividend. Merong mga pagkakataon na pinapapili ng company ang shareholders nila kung gusto ng cash or non-cash na dividends. In that case, we have to consider both the fair value of each alternative and the associated probabilities of owners selecting each alternative. So, kailangan natin itong alamin para malaman kung magkano yung i-recognize natin na liability. Here's an example. On December 31, 2021, an entity declared dividends on ordinary shares payable on March 31, 2022. The entity decided to give the shareholders a choice between total cash dividend of 2 million or a property dividend in the form of a non-cash asset from the inventory with carrying amount of 2.5 million and a fair value less cost to distribute of 3 million. So, binigyan daw ng choice yung mga shareholders. Either makakatanggap sila ng cash dividends, ang estimated amount is 2 million, or makakatanggap sila ng property in the form of inventories. Ang carrying amount ay 2.5 million and ang fair value less cost to distribute ay 3 million. Based sa estimate ng company, 70% of the shareholders will take the cash dividend and 30% will opt to receive the non-cash asset. Okay, so paano natin i-value yung dividends payable sa ganang case? I-multiply lang natin yung estimated value for each alternative dun sa kanilang probability. So, sa cash alternative, estimated at 2 million, i-multiply no ng probability na 70%. So, we have 1.4 million. For the non-cash alternative, syempre gagamitin natin yung fair value less cost to distribute ng 3 million multiplied by the probability of 30%. So, in this case, we have to recognize a dividend payable of 2.3 million. So, entry debit retained earnings, credit dividends payable for 2.3 million pesos. So, if the shareholders have chosen the cash alternative, the payment of the dividends on March 31, 2022 is recognized through the following ending. So, we have debit dividends payable. Ang i-credit na natin is cash, yung 2 million lang kasi yun naman talaga yung actual na pinili. And yung difference, ibabalik natin po sa retained earnings. Paano naman kung ang pinili ng shareholders is the non-cash alternative? And fair value ay 3 million pa din siya as of the date of payment. So, we'll compute first the increase in the dividend payable. Kasi di ba ang na-recognize lang natin 2.3 million. Ito yon as of December 31, 2021. Pero ang babayaran natin is 3 million. So we have an increase of 700,000. So mag-a-adjust muna tayo sa dividends payable, debit retained earnings, credit dividends payable, amounting to 700,000. Pagkatapos nun, saka na natin isasara, i-recognize yung distribution ng dividends. So, i-debit na natin yung dividend payable, ki-credit na natin yung carrying value ng inventory or ng property na ibabayad natin as dividends. That's 2.5 million. And yung difference, gain on distribution of property dividend. So, ito yung difference between the fair value less cost to sell and the carrying amount of the property issue. Okay, paano naman kung non-cash alternative pero yung fair value less cost to sell is 3.3 million na? So similar pa din, kailangan nating i-compute yung increase in dividends payable. So 3.3 million minus 2.3 million, 1 million na siya. So i-adjust natin ulit yung dividends payable and after that, yan, isasara na yung dividends payable. So in this case, ang i-credit pa rin naman natin yung carrying value ng inventory and yung gain ay tataas na. Magiging na siyang 800,000 pesos. So, tandaan lang na ang i-credit lang natin lagi is yung carrying value. Pero mag-a-adjust tayo ng dividends payable depende sa fair value of the non-cash consideration issued. Okay, next type of dividend is called scrip dividend. A scrip is like a note, which is a formal evidence of indebtedness to pay a sum of money at some future time. The example, scrip dividends are declared in the amount of 200,000 pesos, payable in 6 months at 12% interest. So sa scrip dividend, parang gumawa ng note payable ang company sa kanilang shareholders. Pero ang tawag doon is scrip dividends. So ang entry, debit retained earnings, and specifically stated yung scrip dividend payable. Kung mapapansin natin sa scrip dividend, merong interest kasi nga para siyang utang ng company. So, at the date of payment or kapag pinresent na yung note, like after 6 months, ay debit na natin yung scrip dividend payable na 200,000 and i-compute natin yung interest. That's 200,000 times 12% and di ba sabi 6 months? So, interest expense na 12,000. Of course, yung total is credited to cash. Next type of dividend is bond dividend. Example, for bond dividend, dividends are declared in the amount of 1 million payable through the entity's own bonds, 12% interest payable annually. The bonds mature in 5 years. So during the date of declaration, we have to debit retained earnings, 1 million, and credit bond dividends payable, 1 million. So, dapat specifically stated or identified kung anong klase yung bonds or yung dividends payable. Okay? Kapag nag-issue na ng bonds para sa dividends, so isasara na natin yung na-debit na bond dividends payable and ililipat na natin siya sa bonds payable. And of course, since we're talking about bonds, meron niyang interest. So magde-debit yung company ng interest expense, that's the 1 million principal amount multiplied by the interest rate of 12,000. We have 120,000 and credit cash. Okay, since bonds yun, i-redeem yun ng mga shareholders, ipepresent nila sa company yung bond certificate, tapos i-convert na nila sa cash. So upon redemption, ayan, isasara na natin yung bonds payable and credit cash. So parang madaming cash na nawawala sa company kapag bonds ang in-issue as dividends. The last type of dividend is called share dividend, also known as bonus issue.
distribution of the earnings of the entity in the form of the entity's own shares. So, hindi makakatanggap yung shareholder ng cash or non-cash assets, pero madadagdagan yung shares nila sa company. It decreases retained earnings, but increase in share capital. So, yung net effect niya sa shareholders' equity, same lang naman. Lumipat lang ng account, kumbaga. Okay, for ordinary share dividends, it can be ordinary shares given to ordinary shareholders or preference share given to preference shareholders. For special share dividends, pwedeng ordinary shares ibibigay mo sa preference shareholders or preference shares given to ordinary shareholders. So that's all for the retained earnings.